The information provided by Trading Forex Price Action to you does not constitute personal financial advice. The information provided is of a general nature only and does not take into account your individual objectives, financial situation, or needs. It should not be used, relied upon, or treated as a substitute for specific professional advice.
Weekly Forecast.
Hey guys, this is the weekly forecast for June 21st through the 25th of 2021. Alright, we'll start off with the Euro-USD pair. This is a monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So since this price action right here is very strong short, and this move right here still having a ways to go, in the long term, I am short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. However, because of a breakout of this trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here, and that breakout being right here, in the medium term, I'm long biased right back up to this pivot high as a target. However, on the weekly chart, since there's more strength short than long, in the short term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. Alright, let's talk entries. Alright, this is a weekly chart. Let me run you by the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So there was a strong short trade right here, then a week-long trade formed right here. So as price pulled back, I was looking for short entries right back down to this pivot low as a target. And then the same thing repeated, another week-long trade formed. So as price pulled back, I was again looking for short trades right back down to this pivot low as a target. And the same thing happened again. So another week-long trade formed right here. And so as price pulled back, I was looking for short entries right back down to this new pivot low as a target. Alright, so let me explain this setup in a little bit more detail. So let's go over to the daily chart. Okay, so on this daily chart, the last short trade that formed was right here, and its stop loss level being right up at this pivot high right here. Now this daily short trade's target has been hit at this level right here. And when trades targets are hit, price normally just pulls right back to stop out the traders that are still in that short trade, with the stop loss being at this pivot high right here. And so if you recall, I was mentioning there will be a medium strength pullback at least to this level right here. Now, although this daily short trade's target has been hit at this level, the last weekly short trade, which is right here, and the stop loss at this pivot high, this weekly short trade's target has not been hit yet at this level. And thus, as price pulled back to stop out the daily short trades level right here, this pullback was enough to minimize my risk for a short trade with a stop loss at this weekly pivot high right here. And so 3 weeks ago, if you recall, I mentioned I took a short trade at 1.2250 at this level right here, with the stop loss at this pivot high right here. Now, moreover, if you watch my midweek analysis, you'll recall I mentioned I took a short trade at this 1.2130 level last week, with the stop loss at this pivot high right here. Now let me just update you on why I took another short position at this level, and moreover how I'm managing that first initial short trade I took at the 1.2250 level. So let's go over to the weekly chart. Okay, so on this weekly chart, if you recall in my midweek analysis, I mentioned there was a new weekly short trade that formed right here. And again, this weekly short trade was still stronger than this last long trade. Now, since the relative strength of these two pivots has a bias down, and also states that price will reach this pivot low right here before reaching this pivot high right here, my initial stop loss level for that first short trade I took at 1.2250, which was up here at this level, I moved that stop loss right back down to this new pivot high right here. Now the reason why I moved this stop loss and minimize my risk is not because I randomly want to trail my stop loss. It's simply because there was a new weekly short trade that formed right here, with its stop loss being at this pivot high right here. So at this point, if price does reach this price level right here, that will prove to me that my analysis was wrong. Thus, this is a logical price level in which price tells me that my analysis was wrong. And so that's why I moved my stop loss level from this pivot high to this pivot right here. Now, moreover, I mentioned on the midweek analysis, I was going to take another short entry at this 1.2130 level right here. Again, with the stop loss being at this pivot high right here. Now, the reason why I took this second short entry was simply because the risk parameters to the stop loss level was enough to entice me to take another short trade. Okay, so at this point I have two short trades, one at 1.2250 and another one at 1.2130, with both of its stop losses at this pivot high right here and its main target being right here. Alright, so let me show you some interesting things that happened this week on the lower time frames. So let's go over to the 1 hour chart. Alright, so on this 1 hour chart, last week price action is roughly in this area right here. Now one thing I want to explain is this fake double bottom that formed right here on the 1 hour chart. Now fake double bottom implies short-term short strength. And obviously if you're in a short trade, these are formations that you want to see on the lower time frames. But moreover, there's one more thing I do want to add. Now as you know, fake double bottoms typically do not go as target high. Now in terms of intraday trades, these are actually great setups to take short-term intraday trades. Now since we know that this fake double bottom will not reach this price level right here, a stop loss level for a short-term intraday trade could be at this level right here, with its main target being at the second peak's entry level, which is right here, and then just leaving a portion to see if it could go a little bit further. Now this kind of setup assumes that the higher time frames bias is in the same direction. In this example, it will be the weekly chart. So if a setup like this forms, ideally you want price to pull back as much as possible, minimizing your risk and increasing your profit potential, with its main target being at this entry level right here, and letting the rest ride and see if it go any further. Alright, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. So moreover, in terms of those two short trades I'm taking, there are some price levels I'm watching out for, so let me show you those. Let's go over to the daily chart. Okay, so on this daily chart, my main target is at this pivot low right here, like I mentioned earlier. And like I always say, I'm always looking for any compact long price action to form, which indicates strong long strength. In which case this kind of price action forms, I would abort both short trades immediately. And moreover, this kind of compact price action often forms in higher time frame strong price levels. Now from the distance from current price to my main target right back down here, there are many daily price levels to be watching out for. Now there's many legitimate trend lines that could be formed on this pivot right here. Now try drawing this trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here. Now there's 3 touches on this trend line, so it's legitimate. Now other angled legitimate trend lines could be drawn from each one of these pivots right here. So for example, another one from this pivot to this pivot right here, same one. So like I demonstrated, this entire area from current price right down to the main target, there are many higher time frame price levels in which compact long price action can form. So in the coming days and weeks, I'll be watching the lower time frames for any of this compact long price action. And again, if this forms, I will abort both trades immediately. Okay, and if you don't understand what I'm talking about in terms of legitimate trend lines and strong and weak trades, please watch my price action trading course. For that course is designed to provide you the information that's necessary to understand these forecasts and analysis. Alright, so let's go on to the Euro-Yen pair. Alright, this is the weekly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So since the last long trade that formed was right here, and possibly strong short-term price action that formed right here, however, since I need confirmation of this strong short-term price action right here, and that confirmation likely forming in this area, in the long term, I am neutral biased. However, although this short-term price action right here is not confirmed yet, since the last daily long trade was right here and its stop loss being at this pivot low, and either way, this daily long trade already hit its target. Thus, since when trades targets are hit, price typically just pulls right back to stop out the long traders that are still in the long trade with this stop loss right here. In the short term, I am short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. Okay, let's talk entries. Alright, we'll stay on this weekly chart, so let me go over the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So a couple of months back, the last weekly long trade that formed was right here with this stop loss level being right here at this pivot low. Then 2 consecutive week short trades formed right here and here. So as price pulled back, I was looking for long entries right back up to this pivot high as a target. And then the same thing happened, another week short trade formed. So as price pulled back, I was looking for long trades right up to this pivot high as a target. And at the same time, at this point, another weekly long trade formed right here, and its stop loss level being right here at this pivot low. Then as price went up, there were two short trades that formed right here and here, which were stronger than the last long trade. However, both of these short trades hit its monthly gap level targets at these levels right here. And when trades targets are hit, price normally pulls back to stop out the short traders that are still in that short trade, with the stop loss level being right up here. Now at this point, at this pivot high right here, there were no new short trades that formed. However, there was possibly compact price action that formed on this pivot right here last week. Now when compact price action forms on the lower time frames, they often override the higher time frames bias, which at this point was still long. Now if this compact short price action right here is legitimate, price should pull all the way right back down to stop out even the last weekly long trade, with its stop loss being right here. So now in terms of confirmation of this compact price action that possibly formed in this area right here, there's a couple things I'm looking at. So let's go over to the daily chart. Alright, so on this daily chart, the last long trade that formed was right here, with the stop loss being at this pivot low right here. That possible compact price action that formed is at this pivot right here. However, regardless of this compact price action being legitimate or not, this daily long trade likely already hit its target at a monthly gap level roughly in this area. And thus that's why in the short term, I am short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. However, what I'm concerned with is the way that price will react at this level right here. And depending on the way price reacts at this level after it hits this daily stop loss level right here, will confirm whether or not this compact price action was legitimate or not. So at this point in terms of entries, I'm just waiting for price to fall right back down to stop out this daily stop loss level right here, and see if the price action confirms strong short strength. Then possibly at that point, if the price action at this level confirms the legitimacy of this compact price action that formed right here, then I'll be waiting for possibly a daily short trade to form or a 4-hour short trade to form, with a stop loss at those pivot highs and its main target being at that weekly long stop loss level way down here. So again, let me just sum this up for you on the weekly chart. Alright, so again on this weekly chart, the last weekly long trade that formed was right here, with the stop loss being right here. And that daily long trade I was talking about earlier was right here, with the stop loss level being right here. And that possible compact short price action that formed last week was right at this pivot high right here. Now again, I'm assuming price will reach this level right here to stop out that last long trade stop loss level. However, depending on how price reacts at this level, will confirm to me if this compact price action was legitimate or not. And if it is legitimate, then I'll wait for a strong daily or 4-hour short trade to form, with the stop loss being at those pivot highs and its main target being at this weekly pivot low right here. Alright, so in terms of how price reacts at this level right here, I'll keep you updated on the midweek analysis, so please check that out. Okay, so that's it for the weekly forecast. I hope you guys have a great week, and thanks for watching. Okay, bye.